Hi, this is gonna be weird. I wanted to make a video on this technique I have for coiling my rope. This is for when you're ready to tie though. This isn't for when you're putting it away or anything. I've got several different types from a few different vendors to demonstrate how it can go differently on one, it seems. But I don't know, we're gonna explore it together. Yeah, I've got some shorties and some longies, I guess. I just call them rope. Okay, so this sprung from me wanting to have a way to very quickly get rope out while having it very neatly stored to the side because I spend a lot of time sitting around bored with nobody to talk to. But it's fine because if I had somebody to talk to, I could make all this great art. Yeah, and in my lab time, we call it time in the lab, we have devised, I believe, the ideal method. So, mental breakdowns aside, here's what we got. So let's start with let's start with the one I concocted it on. So I forget, there's Z twist and Y twist or something. I don't know. I forget which twist this is. It's not like the normal twist. It goes in the left-hand direction. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to produce a video here. Yeah, anyway. So let's compare it to the other one. This one's very, very distinct. Okay, yeah, you see how one is traveling in the right direction, or the right-hand direction. This one's traveling in the left. I do think that makes a difference in this particular rope because it has such prominent teeth. And this is jute rope from Shoshinsha. That's fairly new too. I really haven't worked with it much. I noticed that the teeth, so we'll go over it, but you have to reverse the way that I normally do it for this one. The other rope doesn't seem to care so much, and I think that's because it's more worn and the teeth aren't as prominent, but we're gonna check it out. So the whole reasoning behind this is I can hold my rope right here. I know exactly where my bite is. I know exactly how to get the whole thing out quickly, and it's not going to coil up on itself. Those are really what I wanted. I don't want it to coil up on itself. So I'm like, what do I do? Moment of truth. Yeah. So technically, when you're ready to start tying, it's that, and that way, when you start to do your pull throughs or whatever, it's all nice and even. We didn't get any tangles or anything. Other coiling methods, I would run into tangling and you get it out, but then it's oh, you gotta and that's trap tension thing and other stuff too, but this method seems to drop the rope in a way that doesn't want to argue with itself. So to do it, you grab your bite and then you will half the rope, as in make it half a length, and once you have your working end and your bite together, that is your foundation, because this is really this is what's going to be available to you. This is this is how you pull the parachute, rip or whatever. And then you cut this in half for a hang. This is an 8-meter piece. You cut this in half, but you don't want to do a true cut in half. If you cut it in half, then all this would be kind of mixed up. And we don't quite want that because we want the bite and the working end to be noticeable and free. So we're going to do we're going to cut it in half about here. Okay? And then we've got all this. And this is also a great exercise in controlling rope. Because when you're doing all this coiling and handling, you're constantly treating it like a stick, which is important for control methods in general. So anyway, now that you've got it halved in half with that little bit of extra, you're going to take this and you're going to do a slip knot thing. Slip knot thing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to come around. Anyway, so yeah, we got it like this. I don't know if this is going to be a good way to show it or not. And then you cross it. Oh yeah, it's under. I'm like, how do you do it? So for the way I remember it's for the left hand, you go under, and if it's spinning the right hand, you'll go over. That's how I differentiate those two in those methods. But typically, it seems like everywhere else I go under, and you pull through, and you're making a slip knot. So really, all you're doing, you just need to pull that much right there, that little bit. And that's it. That is the method. And that way, when you're ready to tie, easily identifiable bite. Here's your rip cord, or whatever, slap me in the face. still some kinks to work out, you know. Yeah, but anyway, show it one more time, and just the fluidity of which you can do it is one of my favorite parts. You know, it doesn't have to be a certain way, as long as you have control of everything right there, to where when you're ready to start tying, you don't have to like sit there and like struggle. And so, I mean, one of the only like difficulties can be identifying your like ripcord. I don't know which is ripcord. This is like the handle, and there's a ripcord. I don't know. See. So, and that's also part of the method of cinching this thing. And like, I'm not sure if you can just force it in too tight and make the whole thing difficult. But with this rope, typically I don't have like problems like that too often. So let's try one more time. Spin. And then you go under and pull. And so I did that pretty tight. And so there's your little squiddy. I did. I think I know what I did wrong last time. I didn't pull it all. I didn't pull all the. You have to pull all the loops. Okay, yeah, that was exactly what I didn't do. Okay, so one more time with the easy one, because this is the one I developed it on. I did this so many times. So you cut it in half. And you cut that in half, but it's not a full half. And then you go under to do that. And then you got control of the whole thing, and then these loops are your ripcord. You try not to get confused by this and the ripcord. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier when I flubbed it and didn't pull it right. So anyway, let's put this one up and move to a different one. But again, like the way you can put this up just becomes so much easier and flowy when you're putting up rope for the next tie or something like that, and then you just throw it off. And then when you want to pick it up, it's all there. You don't have to do this weird coil thing that I see some people do where it's like a bunch of snakes laying around. And so for shorty, it's the same thing except for you don't do a step. So for shorty, identify either your working ends or your bite. Honestly, the working ends are just fine. I usually start with working ends. Working ends, cut it in half. Working ends bite together. Then you go immediately into your slip knot from there for a shorty. And then it leaves it looking like that. So here's your handle. And so great thing about this too, if you have hooks on the wall, which I do in my other room, you can actually take the ripcord and hang it on the hook in the wall. And then when you want to tie and you're like laying in your bed and you just want to reach over and grab some rope, you pull the ripcord here and this will pull on the hook. And then the whole thing comes out and you're tying. Anyway, so we'll put this one away. We'll go to let's experiment with, this is the Minawashi. This one is a normal spin. So that's another way if you just want to, like, you don't have to poof it every time. You could also go like that, and that'll release the whole thing without like the poof. So we'll start with the bite and working end. Trying to take yourself in the face. That's why I wear glasses. I don't even have bad vision. It's just like eye protection. That looks cute. So this is my Nawashi rope. Really haven't used it much. Let's see. Yeah, I conditioned it though. It's nice. Like I like the color actually. I would like to actually use this if I had a bigger set. Anyway, so we did a cut in half, and we did the small cut in half. So now we're going in for our slip knot. You got your handle and your ripcord. So that can be a point of confusion, I think. So here's the ripcord. This is the cut in half. So that's not part of the ripcord. So that can be, I think, a conceptual difficulty for some people. So you could choose to shorten this, make the handle bigger, and then there's your little ripcord, and that way it doesn't get confused with that one. And then when you're ready to tie, it comes out. So that one's, again, straightforward. I did that the same way with the same direction slip knot. This rope definitely has some trap tension in it. Yeah, I got this, but I didn't really get enough for like a full set. Mixing colors. I need to mix the colors. So here it is, one more time, and then boom, ready to tie. Okay, and the next one, the next rope I have is PHX 42. So this one again is spinning in the same direction, but it's a very it's not very toothy. The Shoshinsha rope is definitely the toothiest rope I have. So we may play with that in the normal direction and see, and I'll show you what I'm used to occurring with it and how I kind of altered it to fix the problem. Okay, so ripcord. And so, yeah, if you get confused, if these are too long, you can like cut it and then pick up, and that's your ripcord. And then my bite is too long. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I did something. It still works though. So let's move on to the other one. Ow. Yeah, I need to raise that ring. I've been doing it a lot lately. It's like solid wood. But so is this. Yeah, there's some boomer humor there. If I had some old guys in here, they would just fucking bust out laughing just then. Okay, so ripcord, this is spun in the altered direction. Because again, this is the only one that I had encountered any difficulties with. So let's go ahead and start from scratch. I got the bite. We're going to work our way back to the working ends. Even them all the way to a half, true half, and then contrasted with the false half, the bad faith half. See how it's not as long? Okay, so we can still identify the bite. So normally it would be an overhand knot coming from underneath the rib. And that would be it. And honestly, this looks like it would be fine. So I'm gonna even like dare to try to tighten it up just a smidge. And let's report it and see what happens. There. That is the problem I'm typically used to running in with this tighter lay rope. And like, yeah, and this could be also a thing, like I said, this is almost brand new, and this is wonderful. I adore this rope. But it's unbroken, it's not broken in really. But you see how it twisted right then? So I think that was the problem though. So the way I solved this, I believe, is instead of going under, like we did a minute ago, we're gonna go over. I'm gonna reach through the opposite direction. This may take your brain a second to realize what you're doing. And you're gonna make a slip knot running in the opposite direction. I'll even give it a little tighten just for good measure. Now pretend we have it hung up on the wall and we're ready to start tying. So we have the ripcord here. Start tying. It comes out. So I really do think that is, so basically my lesson then is that if your rope is spinning to the right, which is Z twist, Y twist, I don't know. Nobody taught me rope. Whatever way it's spinning, you need to alter the thing. If it's going to the right, you got to go over. If it's going left, you got to go under. You know, something. Just remember it. Like, because honestly, you saw that other rope. It didn't really matter, right? Still, there's something going on there. It's got to be the way it twists, because you saw the way it was difficult to come out and it twisted the wrong way versus the fluidity of that. Now, granted, I learned on the lefty. This rope's from France. So it goes to the left, okay? So the lefty is I learned going under. So I guess technically, if I had learned, doing it like this, I would have needed to go over. But yeah, just point to remember. It probably won't affect your rope unless it has a prominent teethsies. Let me inquire about the teeth on your rope. Sorry. I'm like the tooth fairy for rope. Like, let me see them. I won't give you money though, I'll just look at them and touch them. There. So same thing, we went over, we got ripcord, we got bite. Oh. Did we? Did we do it? Hold on, let's try it one more time. I was talking. I don't know, you're gonna have to rewind that back. Did I do it the right way or the wrong way? Let's do it the wrong way, real quick. I think intentional mistakes in Shibari, when you can afford them, are wonderful, and we should do them when we can afford them. I think seeing something that you know is wrong and seeing it play out is important. or not play out. You know, but we're not talking about like taking like dangerous risks here. We're talking about taking like calculated risks. So there's the wrong way. Foobar, botched. Lindsay 19 shunned by society. Hack of a teacher. It didn't work. Downvote. But you modify it. Wait, that's the same way. You modify it. See, it's so muscle memory. You modify it to go over, and then blah. So, there it is again. There's that muscle memory. Go over. Oh there it is. You go over, and then you fall. Like my brain was really arguing right there. So that when you're ready to start tying, you look so cool, and then you hit yourself in the face. Kind of grab itself. We're going to do that one more time. And again, as part of the reason I wanted to do this is demonstrate how fluid it can be or can't be. Or it can't. Or can it? We're going to find out one more time. Now granted, this is probably the trappiest tensioned rope I've ever got brand new. And the other set, yeah, maybe we should get the natural color set. I did release tension from that one, okay. But this one still is coiling a little bit on itself. But not that bad. So, the false half. And then the modified thing that I still struggle with because you have to reach through like that. So you have to go over. And then you tighten your slip knots. And that's a tight one right there. See, that's a little one right there. Look at a little. Tie people up. See? Same thing for the shorty, I think. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I had the same problem with this one. But let's find out. Or maybe I didn't. I think maybe the shorties were like all just fine. I think the long ones were kind of the anomaly. Oh, God. Oh, daggone. Okay. Going the true way. The French way. Yeah, see, it snagged. Like, I could feel it. It was not fluid. So, we'll go the American way. There. And then John Wayne ropes a cowgirl. What? I don't think he ever tied anybody up. You think John Wayne would think I'm hot? I bet he would. Okay, this has been it. That's it. That's all I wanted to show you. Everybody, I got nothing to say. I hope, yeah.